Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Cafe Enchante, and we are just continuing where we left off. We're in chapter 4. We're in Rindo's final chapter. It's probably going to take us a few parts. There's, I think, only one choice in here, but it's going to take a while to get there, I'm sure, because we just asked Rindo out on a date, basically, after crying behind the door because we heard the terrible things he said. We heard him so bad. We knew that was going to happen. I mean, come on. So, yeah, we're going to have our little romancy moment, but we still have to wrap up the Mikado Shizuku freaking thing, and I just don't think that that's going to be quick. But maybe it will be. Maybe the game's just going to gloss the fuck over it. Who knows? Anyway, we're picking back. I guess we're going on a date, so let's go out on a date. Hearing my words, the regulars of Enchante all erupt into utter chaos. I hurriedly go back up to my room to get myself prepared to step out. I know it's sudden, but Mr. Rindo asked me out on a date suddenly too, so this will make us even. To add, this is about as good a time as ever to ask him out, especially after hearing his heart-wrenching words. I'm outside with Mr. Rindo. We're at an amusement park? Oh my god, I'm so excited. Oh, he's wearing gloves, they're not gonna notice your pointy freaking hands and a hoodie over your face. You know what? Honestly, now you have to wear a mask. No one would ever. Sunglasses, no one would notice. We all look like the fucking Unabomber when we go out now. It's cold, you got a hoodie on and a hat or whatever, you got the mask on, sunglasses, and you're and I look shady as fuck, but don't we all? A theme park? Well, most people go out on dates to places like these. But why now? Mind you, I'm not the best person to be out with. Mr. Rindo hadn't said anything to me on the way here, but now that he's here, he pulls the hood on Ignis's coat he borrowed deeply over his head. But it's Ignis' coat. Anyway. I knew he wasn't going to feel good outside, and yet I forced him out here. God, we're just a selfish bitch. We forced him to live as a non-human, even though he's kind of miserable. We forced him out. We're horrible. We're glad, though, because, he's not dead. But, still, at the very least, the people here are having a good time and being merry. None of the people seem to be paying any attention to us. Mr. Rindo, how about we hold hands? What? Here, like this. I reach my hand out to him, to which Mr. Rindo nods and does the same. But then his hand stops. His hand is oddly shaped and can be seen from under his glove. Aw, this is so hard for him, holding hands with a non-human. He slowly draws his extended arm away from me, but... Let's go. I gently grab his hand. And then she's and it squishes underneath me. It's just the texture on the outside. So through a glove, it's fine. You can't tell that it's sticky or going. So, the oil slick on him. It's sentient and moving. I'm sorry, it's so weird. It's not the looks. He looks fine. I mean... He looked better before, but, they could have done worse. They could have been you could have, made him so bad that you were oh god, what are we doing? It's the talking about, that moving. It's okay, that's a little creepy. I lead Mr. Rindo to a number of rides and attractions that wouldn't drag his hood off. Instead of hiding and avoiding the customers here, we moved with everyone and enjoyed our time together. Soon enough, Mr. Rindo slowly starts talking, as if he's feeling more like himself. You could put a mask on and just be he's been horribly burned. It's been forever since I came to a theme park like this. Forever? As in years? Yeah. Last time I went was when I was in grade school, so roughly 30 years. 30 years? I wasn't even born then. Let's make it more awkward! Huh, you're right. Isn't that something? And this is where you should feel gross about your, oh. I I mean, it's not like, okay, 30 years ago when I was like 5 and you weren't born yet because you're 5 years younger than me. Okay, that makes sense. But it just in this case, it's like, well, also when you were 20 graduating college, we probably weren't born yet. That's where it gets fucked up. We continue our conversation casually as we walk through the park. But then...
Come on, let's go on that one!
A young boy runs past us with his parents. That alone was enough to instill fear in Mr. Rindo's mind. A wave of guilt washes over me. Is Mr. Rindo going to have to live in fear like this every time he goes out for a simple walk outside? Yes. Everyone else can, control and make themselves look normal, but maybe he'll be able to figure that out, but not for a while. We stroll throughout the theme park until the sun starts setting. We take a seat on one of the benches after getting off our last ride. You would have to, yes, put, some kind of a weird mask thing on. Like turtleneck. You could manage it. People would just be like, why is he wearing a mask? And then just assume maybe you could just be like burn victim or whatever, scarring. You could just, without anyone seeing, because when they see your actual face, that's going to freak them out. But wearing a mask and then just I have scarring or whatever, they'd be like, oh, okay, don't ask questions, right? Don't be a dick like that. But, the gremlin face he's got going on, that's not, no, people are going to ask questions. Just saying. We take a seat on one of the benches after getting off our last ride. I read that. It doesn't take long for our conversation to stop as time slowly passes by. And soon, the sun fully sets. The lights decorating the attraction slowly start to light up. This is when we should have come at night when it's dark and nobody would have seen them. Most of the people walking around us are still enjoying themselves. As for us, all we're doing is staring at the fountain in front of us. Huh. Night already. Look! It's Cinderella's castle in the background! We're at fucking Disneyland! He lets out a sigh of relief. Or Disney World. Tokyo Disney, whatever. I look at Mr. Rindo, who's staring at the twinkling of the lights in the park. His eyes gleamed hope that he could hide his presence under the cover of darkness. I want to apologize to him. Seeing him like this is so painful that I'm willing to drop to the ground and cry to him in apology. That will draw attention, so don't do that here. He must have noticed what I'm thinking. So, why ask me out on a date today? Mr. Rindo calmly asks me from his side of the bench. I try my best to answer while trying to suppress my shaking voice. Well, it's because it was fun being with you the last time. So I wanted to ask you out today as a way to, show my thanks. I see. I appreciate your sentiment. I'm glad you brought me here. After all, I doubt we'll be able to go out very often now that... That's not true! I forced my words out. He tried to distance me with his words, so I stopped him from finishing his thought. He looked so sad. I mustered the strength to stand and talk to him. Sure, things won't be the same as before, but we can still be together. We're here dating, aren't we? I'm happy that I was able to spend my day with you, Mr. Rindo. You also shouldn't... okay. I know in Japanese it'd be like Rindo-san, right? And that'd be fine. But, it's weird in this sense when you're, talking about dating him and you're calling him Mr. Mister! I get it. But at the same time, sometimes I feel like when they're doing translations... And I get in the very beginning, they didn't just call him Kaoru. They were like, we're going to call him Mr. Rindo because he's older than us and she's younger. And then I get that. But there's a point where, somebody in the translation, somebody should be paying attention to the translation is all I'm saying, and go, at this point they're talking about dating and they're going on dates. Should you switch to calling him by his first, because it seems fucking awkward. You're married. Could you stop calling him Mr. Rindo? Because that's got to be really fucking weird. And we can go out on dates whenever we want, as long as you're alive. So, it doesn't matter whether you're a human or a non-human, Mr. Rindo. I wanted to say that boldly, but I don't have the courage to. My voice begins to weaken. After all, I was the one who turned Mr. Rindo into a non-human. I didn't have the right to tell him anything. I bite my lip deeply amid the sparkling park lights. I know I don't have the right to tell you that being a non-human doesn't matter when I'm the one that did this to you. But I can't think of anything I could say that could cheer you up. Don't cry. I'm not the one who should be crying here. It's Mr. Rindo. But I can't contain myself. My voice slowly blends with my sniffling. CJ? It went white. Oh, we're back to that sad one. Beautiful, but sad. I didn't ask to become a non-human. I didn't ask to become a non-human. His voice resonates within my ears. My memory finally deals the final blow to my emotions. I'm so sorry, Mr. Rindo. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I fall to my knees pathetically as tears roll down my cheeks. Girl, you're in the middle of... You're in public. Spacey. I am the one who transformed you into what you are now. I was greedy and wanted you to live no matter the cost. But Mr. Rindo, I didn't want to turn you into a non-human. I see now. You overheard me talking with Candace yesterday, didn't you? Which is why you asked me out so suddenly. It's kind of falling for you before you became a half-gremlin thing. I nod a reply, to which Mr. Rindo crouches down and gently places his hand on my cheek. Say, Spacey, what do you think makes humans and non-humans different? Huh? I don't know! You kept telling me that they were and, being a dick about it, and I kept being like, it doesn't matter, and then, now look where we are. I should have seen this coming, to be honest with you, with how, adamant he was about, humans and non-humans and whatever. It was he gonna turn into one, isn't he? I mean, it should have just been obvious. Hindsight, right? His eyes are calm. Mr. Rindo looks at me with his usual caring eyes. Miser said that there isn't much different between there isn't much different between humans and non-humans. Sounds weird. I mean, yes, there isn't much different between them, but it sounds like it isn't much difference between them. Just sounds weird. I don't know. I recall Miser saying that to me before, too. I don't really think the differences between a human and a non-human are so numerous. First of all, it's not like nature decided to determine who is a human and who's a non-human. I know we could be reading that in Miser's way because it's remembering what he said, but... Miser's words come to mind, but even so, Mr. Rindo is in front of me as a non-human. He's the one who's going through all the suffering now. That one area over his eye, it just literally looks like his bone. It's strange. Which is all the more reason why I can't agree with what Miser said. Even if I believe that to be true, the difference brings pain and agony to Mr. Rindo. If non-humans didn't have to hide, if it was a thing that they existed and they were out there, yes, you'd probably have people staring weirdly for a while in the very beginning, oh, okay, no, just seeing a human and a non-human together is strange. But at some point, most people wouldn't give a fuck. They'd be like, oh, sure, dude. Okay, half-gremlin guy, whatevs. Cool, you guys do you know what I mean? Or whatever, Yeah, there's always going to be people that care. And, honestly, it's kind of like race differences. There's people that give a shit, what? Because an interracial couple. Who gives a fuck? Who cares? It's the same thing with, a gay couple. Who cares? They're happy. They're not doing any harm to you just because they exist. It'd be the same thing with a human and a non-human couple. There's going to be those people have to clutch their pearls and give a fuck, but most people would be like, if you happy, who the fuck gives a shit? It's none of my damn business, right? I mean, though, it would take a lot longer with non-humans because you'd be like, oh, okay, sorry, you're a half-gremlin, you freaked me out a little, because that's not normal. There'd be someone you're like, oh, that's you're dating the lion guy? Okay, I mean, sure, if that's what you're into. It definitely would be slightly different, but in the long run, at some point, people wouldn't give a shit. But it's the fact that he has to hide because people are going to scream that he's a fucking monster. I don't know. I think we already read that, but... I shook my head when I heard that from Miser. Appearance, lifespan, everything is different. But now that I'm like this, I see what he meant. I truly believe that there isn't much of a difference between humans and non-humans now. Especially because I'm half. Like, if you looked all like non-human, you'd feel different, but... Suddenly, the warmth of his lips are gently kissing me on my cheek. Okay, that's not where I wanted to kiss. A kiss filled with kindness, like the kind given to a young child. And that was a perfect time for a real kiss and a kissy CG, but like, no. My motivations are the same as before. I don't want you to cry. I just want you to be happy. And then again, I guess I'm not really sure what's considered being normal or happy. Regardless, I can still kiss you like this and tell you my thoughts and feelings. Sure, there are some inconveniences now, but it's not like I can't do anything. It's not like I can't do anything. Oh, whoa, hey. So, well, if you don't mind how I am now, I'd like it if you ask me out again. Whoa! I already asked you out once, buddy. It's your turn. Take the initiative, guy. Jesus. I'm just kidding. Mr. Rindo holds my hand and slowly pulls me back up. Mr. Rindo looks at me with his usual kind eyes that I like. My tears begin to flow again, seeing that he hasn't changed at all on the inside. Mr. Rindo, you're going to forgive me for what I did to you? There's nothing for me to forgive. I thought I already said that I wouldn't have been able to see you again had you not saved me. Aw, is what he's telling me true? I feel like Mr. Rindo is going to leave me as soon as I stop feeling guilty. So I'm just gonna have to feel guilty forever to trap him. I grab tightly onto his hand. I need something, anything that will keep him here. Something that would shackle him to me without him knowing. Oh my god, we're really like a little shady in this route. Like, he started out a little shady with the whole like, being a little like, humans and non-humans are totally different and like, kind of fuck them. And you're like, are you like, are you for real? Like, it was a little weird. Like, I mean, again, I get it. Like, I get his feelings for non-humans and the things that he's seen, but it's like, but like everybody else, like, hey, we all get along. And now he's like, yeah, we all get along. Don't trust them. And you're like, wait, what? Like, oh, okay. Wow. That's a different, I wasn't expecting that from you. And now we're like, I have to trap him here. Jesus. This route's something. If I ever look away, even for a moment, he may disappear. Like, we getting desperate and crazy. Even if it's greed, what can I do to keep him with me? This is like, just, oh my god, we're gonna pregnancy trap him or some shit. This is getting dangerous. Like I said, you need to really get up close and personal with him, or else he'll just keep getting away. I just feel like we took a turn, and it's like, there's... I'm not like saying, like, I hate this route, or I don't, but there's a little, like, slightly discomfort. You're like, slightly uncomfortable with how he sees non-humans. I mean, 100% get it, but it's like, no, you're supposed to be friends with everybody, and you're like, don't trust them. I mean, sure, they seem nice, but like, it's like, you were like a snap away from taking them all out. Like, just a short break from like losing your shit. And I mean, he's perfectly fine, but it was something that you're just like, okay, just, all right. I can't explain the feeling, but, and then now it's like, we've got to trap him here. Okay, what? We're getting a little cray-cray. I mean, I think just my guard is up from this game. Like, I feel like Ill's route is just going to be worse than, and then Miser's route is just going to literally like, it's going to be like a gut punch. I don't think I can take the rest of this game. I don't think I can do it. I don't know. I am prepared for the worst. But then again, my guard is so up and I'm like so tense overall. I highly doubt we're going to get the waterworks like in Seven Scarlet. Because like, hello. I didn't see that shit coming. This one, it's like, I see you coming a mile fucking away. I got binoculars, bitch. I don't trust you. I'm wary. I'm watching this shit. I'm prepared for it to hurt. Miser's words cross my mind. Mr. Rindo, will you be my boyfriend? Whoa! Oh, hi. Okay, all right. She's like, I need to trap him here. Be my boyfriend. Oh, all right, okay. Okay, look, I admit, I expect worse. I decide to get really up close and personal. Well, what? Where did that come from? Well, I'm not sure where that came from either, to be honest. But it must have caught him off guard as he looks absolutely flustered now. I mean, Mr. Rindo lets out a cough, then speaks to me as if he's still trying to process his thoughts. Spacey, you don't have to hold yourself responsible for turning me into a non-human. I'm not saying that because I'm obligated to. Mr. Rindo looks a bit troubled hearing my words. It's as if he's trying to figure out a way to keep his distance from me. He's always like that. He never lets others get close to him despite being kind to everyone. I bet his request for me to ask him out on a date again was just so that he can ease my guilt. And he's probably trying to put distance between us to let me enjoy a normal and happy life. Which is even more the reason why I'm holding onto Mr. Rindo's hand tighter than before. This is where you kiss me, goddammit. Oh, back to the original CG. It was embarrassing at first. He asked if we could be friends. He does his best for people. This is like a CG montage. And sacrifices himself for others. Forgot about this one. I love that moment. Who are you? What? He's like, oh, do I look that different? He has a unique personality. He's an excellent cook. He makes my heart flutter. But I turned him into a non-human. I adore every moment I spend with him. I want to be with him. Which is why I love you, Mr. Rindo. My words make sense to me. My feelings are honest and true. He's so kind. Yet, he's so lonely. I love you. It doesn't matter if you're human or not. I love you because of who you are, Mr. Rindo. Okay, now you definitely should not be calling him Mr. Rindo anymore. Mr. Rindo's body shivers, and he looks away from me. Even so, I can't make you happy. I could bring harm to you without my knowing. The amount of time we may share together will be entirely different now. Who knows what else could happen with this body of mine? His words try to distance us. I don't want to hear it anymore. So, oh my god, is she gonna kiss him? Oh my god! Girl! She's got a little ballsy in this route. She is like, I will fucking force you to be like, I'm gonna get a little, like, assaulty and force that medicine down your throat by kissing you when you're asleep. Whoa. And then she's like, damn it, date me. Damn it, be my boyfriend. Fuck you, I love you. Now she's gonna force kiss him. I just, you know, bravo. Bravo for taking the initiative. Yeah. He looks so shocked, though. I cover his mouth. I cover his mouth with my lips. She's like, shut up, goddammit. I'll make you shut up. I love it. A forced and unsightly kiss. A kiss without a hint of romance. Even so, this kiss is all I could muster and give to him now. I'll love him no matter where he is. I'll love him no matter what he is. I'll love him even if he isn't a human. My love will never change. I know it's awkward, but my kiss is to help bind him to me. A kiss to my beloved. I'm gonna kiss it. He's gonna bind him to me. Like, there's a little crazy in the back of her mind, but I ain't all bad, but I mean, as my lips let him go, I noticed both of us blushing red. He is, though. That's actually cute. Silence overtakes the moment, and if he wasn't a non-human and we did that, he probably still would have the same reaction, but now it's, like, so much more confusing. But then I decide to break the silence. Mr. Rindo, you mentioned that our time we have to spend together has changed. Sorry. But that doesn't sound all that bad to me. Huh? I mean, think about it. Our ages are pretty different. Which means that we could spend our time together that much longer now. It's not like we know how long we're going to live for. There's always a chance for either of us to live long lives or either of us to die young. Oh my god, I love what she's thinking though. See, you're already older than me, so you were going to die a lot sooner, but now you're going to live longer, which means I get longer with you. Positives. Out of you being old as fuck. Great, thanks. All I ask is that you don't try to put distance between us over something we don't know. Mind you, I am the owner of Enchante, you know. My normal isn't normal anymore. I think I'm holding back my tears. I hope he can see my smile. He hesitantly and gently embraces me in his arms. Even though he's a non-human now, I can still hear his heartbeat. It's so soothing and warm. My tears flow out, blurring my vision. See, and that would be like the kind of happy ending, but it's going to keep going, and I just don't trust it. We take our time as we return back to Enchante. Stepping inside, I expected to be swarmed by the patrons asking every question they could think of, but... Huh? Only you, Il? To my surprise, Il is the only one inside Enchante. They're like,
Oh, yes. See, and now that Rindo's a non-human, it's totally fine if you date him before we didn't trust him. Because he probably would have knifed us all, given us... Just if we blinked at the wrong time.
and he's like, absolutely.
Welcome home. Back already?
Well, we didn't want to stay out for too long. So where is everyone? Investigating? Il simply shakes his head in response to Mr. Rindo's query.
No, our investigations were done around 2 o'clock, so everyone's back already.
So, where is everyone?
Akaria went home, but Miser and Candace dragged Ignis out to buy a celebratory
cake. Why can't I say celebratory cake? I can fucking say it! Jesus, I can't. Cake? Oh, whoops. I guess Miser and the gang already know what happened. Huh? What? If that's true, this is so embarrassing. A little, it's awkward. Out of nowhere, the door suddenly slams open. They're back. I turn around not knowing how I should greet them, but... Shit! We got a problem! Huh? You didn't get a cake? No, we ain't got time for cake. There's shit going down. Yeah, but... So no cake? Ignis and the others all ran inside with tension on their face. You're like, oh my god, what happened? The store's out of cake. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, it has something to do with Mikado.
What kind of problem?
Il, search Shinjuku. Il senses the urgency and immediately types the word into his tablet. He adds GPM to the search. The fact that the GPM is working in relation to non-humans isn't known. Miser once said before that things are best hidden in plain sight. So the headquarters itself is made public under the name of a certain corporation. Then suddenly... What? Huh? We all look into the tablet to find... The building is on fire. Oh my god! Worse, it's slimed! An eerie shadow of a tower. A reddish-black shadow has covered the GPM headquarters.
Ugh, slimy, sticky goo.
Shizuku is just getting slime on everything gross. Ew, it's like stepping in puddles of jello. A towering building in Shinjuku has suddenly been coated in a reddish black. The news immediately spreads through the internet and is now on the front page of every news site. God damn it, Mikado! The drama music. Seeing what happened, we jump in Mr. Rindo's car and head toward the GPM headquarters. Miser and the rest left before us so that they could act as a reconnaissance for us. We've notified Karia via social network to stay home. My tablet's in there. Can you check the GPM shared folder? Okay. Following Mr. Rindo's orders, I quickly grab the tablet and set it on my lap. Mr. Rindo gives me instructions and the password to access the shared database. But it says we can't contact those inside, and their whereabouts are unknown. The GPM branches within the area sent their crew, but can't get in. What about social media or the news channels? Do they have any updates? Let me see. I open the social media platform and search for various keywords such as GPM and Shinjuku. There are some saying it's just a prank or some kind of art piece. If only that was just a prank. If only that was just a prank. Better, thank you, sorry. There are differing opinions, but with the police quarantine around the area, some think something big is happening. Some think something. When you say it too fast, it sounds like the same damn word. There's some posts saying that they saw people touch the shadow and immediately collapse. I guess with the quarantine, there aren't many reports about it now. No matter how much I search, I can't find anything on what happened. Because Mikado thinks that all these people that are touching it and dying and whatever are going to give life to Shizuku, but it's not. It's just making her more evil. It seems like the building simply turned into that towering reddish-black tower in an instant. I checked the pictures on the news sites. The building is covered in a thick shadow. It's unlike anything I've ever seen before. What is that shadow? I saw that before. Of course, it wasn't a large when I saw it. Huh? Wait! You mean... Yeah, that's my sister, Shizuku Rindo's doing. Just as the internet rumors had it, the police have closed off the area to the GPM. The police questioned us, but Mr. Rindo's status at the GPM allowed us to get through. Miser and Il come down from the sky just as we park and get out of the car in front of the GPM. He's like, I work there, and they're like, what kind of monster are you? Miser, Il! Yeah, it's quite something looking at this place from the sky.
And this shadow must be powerful. I couldn't sense anything beyond what the shadow covers. And the shadow around the building is denser than the general area, too.
It's slime. It's so gross.
I hate to admit it, but it seems like the shadow is slowly spreading.
Even though it's not spreading quickly, there's no telling how far it will actually spread. This isn't good. We have to do something. Mr. Rindo looks up at the GPM headquarters when... Hey, we're all here, eh? What matters now is how we plan our next move. We have the Enchante regulars here with Ignis and Canis now joining us. You know, it's not weird to assume Rindo's baby sis is in there somewhere. If so, this is gonna be a piece of cake. We nab her, then stop her. I can only hope it'll be that simple. Won't know until we try, eh? Ignis spins his arm around and steps forward. He steps into the shadow, but... Whoa! The moment he stepped in, he immediately jumps back out. It's all cold and slimy in there like fucking jello. It's creepy. Just kidding. What the hell? I felt my strength disappear the moment I stepped in. I'm guessing the shadow must have absorbed some of your life force. It's almost like what got me. Hey! Why the hell didn't you tell us earlier? That's important intel, you know. Well, sorry. I thought you could handle it with all the life force you got there. He sure didn't last long.
And that was a futile attempt.
Hey! Knock that he didn't help look off your face! It seems as though it has the same effect on me as well. What the... Canis? Stop touching it so casually! You're making me look bad! Ignis goes on his rant against everyone. We all look at each other again. So, any after effects, you two? Nothing at all. Doesn't seem to do anything as long as you're not in contact with it. I concur. I do know that it holds enough power to potentially put our lives at risk. Which also means that if a human were to touch it, we'd have another situation like Rindo's. When Mr. Rindo was found, the only solutions were to defeat the source or to turn him into a non-human. Which means that those who are already affected can only be saved if we defeat Shizuku. I look up at the reddish-black building. That means there's nothing I can do, because I'll die. But if none of you are able to last while in contact with the shadow, then how will we get in? If we simply needed the place destroyed, then it'd be as simple as me unleashing my power. And then again, considering those who may still be alive and those in the area, that's probably not a good call. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if it took all your power to level this place. Well, how about we dig a hole? It is not impossible to do if we all put our best efforts towards it.
That won't work. Whoever it is did a good job of having the shadow cover the whole building, including the ground.
Damn it. It's like some impenetrable fortress. Everyone falls silent as we try to put our minds together to find a way in. I'm assuming this is Mikado.
How wonderful to see the Enchante crew all together like this!
Suddenly, I hear Mikado's voice echoing throughout the area. I mean, who else was it going to be? That voice? Mikado? Everyone immediately puts their guard up hearing the voice, but Mikado is nowhere around. Mikado? Damn it, where are you?
I'm inside the building. I'm relaying my voice using Shizuku's shadow right now. Now then, I'd love to chat, but I have things to do with Shizuku. Can you all please stay put?
Mr. Rindo takes a step forward, hearing Mr. Mikado's calm voice. Mikado.
Rindo, I'm so happy you're here. Spacey must have saved your life.
Mikado, what are you planning to do with Shizuku? You caused all this and turned me into who I am now. What are you trying to accomplish? Silence prevails. Soon enough, a very calm voice resonates the now tainted area.
A good question. Let me invite Rindo and Spacey here so that we can chat a bit.
Just us two?
Yes, I'd like the others to stay where they are. It's a pain if they start intervening without my consent.
Ugh. Parting the goopy sea. With Mikado's voice, a piece of the shadow disappears as if to signal us inside.
I promise I won't hurt them. They are my good friends after all.
Well, thank God I said I approved of his weird-ass relationship. I do not approve of this weird-ass relationship anymore. Shut it! I think we'd believe a word from you.
Indeed, this must be a trap.
Everyone seems to be against this. Mr. Rindo suddenly looks up and speaks as if he can see Mr. Mikado. Mikado, can't it just be me? Mr. Rindo! He isn't going there alone, is he? I want to tell him no, but Mr. Mikado stops me from saying anything. Obviously not. We have to go, otherwise how are we going to continue the story?
Unfortunately, no, Rindo. I want to talk to her as someone who's also had a loved one turn into a non-human.
Now that I think about it, our situations are similar. Mikado also said that he didn't want to lose his friend. I recall my meeting back at the park and made up my mind. Sorry. Stupid fucking spam calls. I'll go with you. Spacey. If we don't do something, the shadow thing is just going to keep spreading. You're Mikado's friend, right? If so, I think we can trust Mikado. I mean... Spacey. Promise me that you won't do anything brash. I promise. Good. Rindo, take care of her. Yeah, leave it to me. I smile at everyone looking at me as Mr. Rindo takes my hand. We slowly head into the opening the shadow made, our hands tightly holding one another's. I wonder if, like, when we defeat Shizuku, he's going to turn back into normal. That would be, there'd be, like, kind of a cop-out, but at the same time, probably better for him, mentally. I'm just saying. There's no one in sight in the GPM. We slowly follow the path made by the shadow through the reddish-black painted interior. I don't see anyone. Neither do I. It'd be great if no one was here when this happened. Today's a weekday, and even during the night, I'm sure a lot of people were still working here. That'd be like, the one day I decide to work late! Fuck! Mr. Rindo must know that. We carry on our way with stern looks on our faces. Eyes open for any survivors. I can't read.
I'm on the roof. Shizuku's here with me.
We stop in our steps, hearing Mikado's voice.
Unfortunately, the elevator is shut down at the moment. Can you use the emergency stairs instead?
We look at each other and nod and walk towards the door. You're like, seriously? This building's like 80 stories!
Ow! But it takes long using the stairs to get here, right? Why don't I tell you a story while I wait? A story about the truth behind Shizuku's transformation that Rindo doesn't know.
Interesting. Cool.
Honestly, I'm not interested in going up the corporate ladder, but it does give me the freedom to continue my experiments. Which is why I accepted the promotion, so that I could accelerate my research to turn Shizuku back to a human. Little did I know that the department I was reassigned to was hell on earth. The GPM number 2 R&D department. The first thing I saw after coming here was a non-human on a rampage inside of a cell.
Welcome to number 2 R&D, Akira Mikado.
Sir, that non-human is...
Him? It's a Type 3 non-human. He's agreed to help us with our experiment.
Agreed? That's not a word I associate with uncommunicable Type 2 non-humans. His words sound awkwardly vague, so I decide to probe a bit further. So where did this non-human come from? I'm surprised it has a face with prominent human properties.
Ha! I knew I could count on you for noticing, as expected from the talent of number 1 R&D. I feel like we went from number 1 R&D to number 2 as like a downgrade, but... This non-human used to be human.
That was easy. He said exactly what I suspected.
It's a human that took our greatest of inventions, the non-human transformer metaplasia. Non-human transformer metaplasia. A forbidden drug that stimulates humans to change into non-humans, developed in absolute secret at the GPM, for reasons.
A non-human transformer?
Why the surprised look? You personally hold on to a non-human with you at all times.
He looks at me with cold eyes, to which I instinctively pull Ku close into my arms.
We are here conducting research to how to evolve humans into non-humans.
Evolve into non-humans? But why?
This is something we must conduct for the sake of mankind's future. As you know, almost all non-humans possess bodies that are stronger than humans. Imagine the value of bringing non-human traits to humans without any after effects or deficiencies.
You mean only their strengths?
For example, take their life force. Can you imagine how many diseases could be negated by their traits? I mean, okay, but you're doing creepy, shady, weird shit. You're pretending it's for noble purposes, but I'm gonna call bullshit on that. Non-humans possess the power to potentially cure ailments that are otherwise considered terminal. And that's not all. And that's not all. Call now and you'll receive specific parts of the body that can be transformed. If specific parts of the body can be transformed, humans can help in future disasters. But there are a lot of ignorant protesters out there who fight for non-human rights. This led to dire results. But these people don't know about non-humans, so... You know what I'm saying? Because of them, our department, dedicated to the future of humankind, was turned into the enemy! I don't know why he's turning into like a fucking TV infomercial dude, but anyway. Number 2 R&D department. A section of GPM whose existence was kept hidden from regular members. They perform various experiments and research that violates laws and morals. And ethics.
No wonder. That would explain the disclaimer when I signed the promotion to keep all matters secret. I see. Quite a department indeed.
Yes, and thus the low headcount. We've been looking for someone who would understand and join our mission. I'm very glad our deputy commissioner recommended you to us.
So, he's the one who recommended me to be reassigned here. I'm not sure whether or not I should be happy hearing that. So the non-humans, excuse me, the former humans here, where did they come from?
You'll know soon enough. Most of them really didn't have a choice, or they deserved their transformation.
I see. Like he said earlier, that means the non-humans here were terminally ill. Or are criminals. The GPM is a government institution. Sourcing from hospitals and prisons is easy. I suppose they used undisclosable means.
Unfortunately, despite our efforts, we have yet to create a non-human that retains their sanity and intelligence. Except for Rindo. I did it! All you had to do was kiss them when you... Also, maybe not use, like, you know, serial killers, probably. Every one of them lost their sanity and went mad to the point where simple communication was impossible. Unless Akira, the work that he did, I was there for 2 weeks and he managed to, like, fix that shit. I'm just saying. Akira Mikado, you will support our efforts, yes? After all, you already have someone with you who's already turned into a non-human.
I don't have much of an argument against any of that. I'm a mad scientist who conducts strange experiments with a non-human Ku always by my side. That was how the GPM big bosses perceived me. To be honest, when I first heard the explanation, I was happy I no longer had to work in secrecy for Shizuku's cure. Even if the experiments were immoral, I didn't care so long as it could lead to Shizuku's return. Which is why I was seen as the perfect candidate to work in the number 2 R&D department. But I found it. I found a top-secret file immediately after joining the group.
Well, they didn't lock that shit down hard, did they?
After listening to the boss's explanation, he took me on a tour around the area before leading me to their library where they kept their data. Well, despite all that self-praising, the facility itself isn't too different from the place we were. Ku? I held my breath as soon as I began talking to Ku. I noticed her eyes were shining, and they looked like the eyes of a beast, ready to hunt its prey. She didn't react much besides when it was time to dine, but... Ku? I look in the direction she was looking at to see a shelf of documents.
She sussed it out, huh?
I slowly head toward the shelf when I notice that Ku starts to twitch a little. And there's something here? I grab the file she's staring at. The file was labeled Non-Human Sample Records. Is this a file that has all the records of those that were turned into non-humans? If so, it may offer a hint of how I can make her human again. I hurriedly look inside the file.
God, Mikado's voice is exhausting. They found a file on her. They did on... Yeah. Legal infractions. Because she was working on stuff, like, secretly, and then... You knew, and it's like, oh, they're turning people in. I was like, oh, they did this to her, and that's why he went ballistic. She wasn't an accident. Because even Rindo said that, right? I'm pretty sure it was Rindo who said it. Like, she was doing stuff she wanted to find. She was doing experiments that were kind of, like, crossing the border of, like, legality. Or, like, morality. I don't remember exactly what they said, but it was basically like, she's kind of, like, crossing lines here for this research. And then when they did this, it's like, so they found out and they turned her into one. And you think, oh my god, her research, and she turned herself into one and it was an accident. But no, it was
Case 056, subject GPM Finance G, selected due to legal infractions. See video file 110212056.
Well, 110212056. You can't say O and 0 in the same sentence. Sorry.
Subject is a failure. Exterminated by Intelligence Division. Case 088. Subject, Civilian B, took a Type 3 into custody and was injured. See video file 110923088. Subject is a failure. Rampaged with Type 3. Exterminated with drug dosage. Case 092. Subject R&D R. Tried to expose number 2's inhumane practices.
Oh, okay. This is her then. I mean, you knew they turned her into one, but I figured it was going to be the first one because she was doing... They said something like what she was doing was crossing lines. But no, oh. So she was like... Research... Well, yeah, that makes sense because they said she was trying to research to cure illnesses. So she was like, whoa, what are they doing?
See video file 120823092. Currently under Akira Mikado's care. Under strict surveillance. No particular results yet. What? Under surveillance? Wait. I toss the file to the side and run to a nearby computer. Video 120823092. Where is it? I quickly search the files and find the video file. Video 120823092. I play the video.
Oh god.
It showed Shizuku captured and injected with a drug that slowly and painfully changed her into a non-human.
Like, that's fucked up.
This This can't be.
I can understand absolutely why he lost his fucking mind. She didn't just accidentally turn into a non-human and he lost his mind trying to change her back. They changed her into a non-human as a punishment. Like, holy shit. You know what, Mikado, I'm with you. Although, I mean, because you're not trying to kill us, you're just trying to take down the GPM. Look, I forgave Venia for throwing us into a flower and trying to kill us because he was just trying to kill the tree and, like, he just went about it in the wrong way. But we forgave him. Fuck Dromi, seriously. No redeeming qualities in that motherfucker. But, like, Akira, I kind of get your motivation. Okay.
Lies! 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 Shizuku was in a cell. Shizuku cried her name out loud. She broke out of her cell and devoured a researcher whole. Her suffering captured in the video replays in my head. I thought Shizuku's failed experiment was what led her to turn into a non-human. But I was wrong. Case 092, subject R&D-R, tried to expose number 2's inhumane practices.
It's kind of funny that they were like, oh, Mikado would be perfect because he's taking care of her, but, you know, because he's still taking care of her because he's totally fucking in love with her. So if he gets in here and ever finds out the truth, which I mean, hi, he has access now to this information. When he finds out the truth, he's totally going to be cool with it. Bitch, what the fuck were you thinking? They're idiots! He should have been trying to fight to get to this department, and they would have been like, yeah, no, you're not ready. They should never have wanted him in this department. Dude! This is not like you keep a non-human with you, and they didn't know, you know exactly who that is. You didn't think, with all the access to all this research, because you didn't lock this shit down? Oh my god. Oh my god. They did this to themselves.
So, Shizuku was turned into a non-human so she wouldn't expose their experiments? She wasn't the perpetrator at all. She was a victim. Ah! A burning rage fills my heart. Shizuku was taken from me. And not because of fate or an accident. She was taken from me because of pure and simple evil.
I can't scream like Mikado, so I'm sorry. Ah! Okay, good enough.
Humans turned an innocent human into a non-human. Human. They weren't human. Humans are much worse than the non-humans.
I mean, again, you didn't see this coming when you were gonna invite him into this department. Oh my god. Mr. Mikado finishes his cruel and hopeless story. We're shocked. We frown hearing it. With the story fresh in our minds, we arrive at the top of the building. Yeah, but there's plenty of people who work here that had no clue. Here he is, just happy as a clam.
I'm glad you're both here. I'm sorry I couldn't clean this place up.
The winds swirl amid the towering buildings. There stood Mikado, exhausted and ready to fall. We're gonna have to kill Mikado and Shizuku, that said. Also... It's the fucking vampire music! There's a peculiar non-human that looks like some kind of solidified black liquid. Is that Shizuku? Yeah, that's her. Mr. Mikado's doll, whose true form is in front of us. Mikado's lover transformed, all because of the number 2 R&D department. Mr. Rindo's younger sister. But her form is so peculiar that it's hard to imagine she was once a human. Her face and her form showed no signs of intelligence or emotion.
Rindo, I'm honestly relieved seeing you retain your sanity as a non-human. I really wanted to save you, but I was scared that you may end up like the other subjects. I couldn't control the anxiety it gave me.
Oh, that's right. My god, the fucking pipe organ music is so loud. He mentioned that all the subjects failed and went on a rampage, including Shizuku. I don't know if it's that loud for you, but it's so dramatically loud. Mikado nods to me as if he knew what was in my mind.
The subject's body and brain are literally transformed during the process of turning into a non-human, which means that their sanity is wiped, which in turn allows their primal emotions to take precedence.
That means strong emotions such as hatred, anger, apathy, and despair are prioritized, right? Wait, So that's why Shizuku and the subjects went on a rampage?
Correct. Rindo maintaining a semblance of his human form in his sanity means his sense of hope for survival was stronger than his fear of death.
Mikado shows an expression of joy and sorrow.
Moreover, I believe you're the reason why he's still alive.
He lets out an eerie smile.
It's just a hunch. I understand my assumption lacks cognitive reasoning. And then again, I did my best to suppress the side effects of the drug. And the metaplasia was modified with Shizuku's blood, so that must have also played a role among others.
Mikado's haughtiness and attitude as a researcher has disappeared. Instead, he looks like a completely different person as he gazes at Shizuku.
I must say, if that's your non-human form, then you siblings have shown quite a difference.
Say what you want. I'm here at the expense of my human form. Not really, because she's like a puddly goo, and he's kind of sort of goo. I mean, they're kind of sort of, you know, they're sort of both gooey. Oh, hi. Oh, now we get like angry beast form. Okay. Interesting. I'll stop you no matter what. The air stands still and fills with tension. It feels like the place will delve into chaos with a slight move. And he's like, just standing there with his leg up in that pose. He's like, are we gonna do this? Because this is hard to hold. Mikado smiles.
Stop me no matter what, eh? Are you sure about that? Listen to this. What if there's a way to change you and Shizuku back into humans again?
What? Huh? As if he expected our reactions, Mikado spreads his arm and gleefully begins to speak.
Shizuku is regaining her sanity slowly each time she absorbs someone's life force. She's actually in the process of turning back into a human again. Isn't that right, Shizuku? Did you hear that? She's not the Ku you remember that didn't respond at all.
Oh my god, he looks crazy. Holy shit, I was too busy reading to see his crazy eyes.
Shizuku has regained a portion of herself to the extent that she calls my name.
She's probably calling your name to beg for death. She's crying tears of blood, do you see that? Mikado looks overjoyed by his announcement. Horror, sorrow, suffering. Various emotions are flowing within me, making me sick. Mikado, you're fucking insane!
I'm a fucking genius is what I am. Like I said, Rindo's non-human form is the result of taking the medicine that I modified with Shizuku's blood. So, Rindo and Shizuku are the same. There's a good chance they can be human again by absorbing life force from others. Will you deny and stop us after hearing what I've told you?
Mikado, will you... Mr. Rindo repositions himself. This part might go long. He must have taken it negatively. Mikado looks sad and in pain, but...
Why won't you listen, Rindo? Shizuku can be human again, and by using this horrid organization who killed her to boot. She was kind and brutally honest, very straightforward and loved sweets. We can bring her back to who she was when we talk about our future. The GPM killed her.
His hatred explodes. The shadow flowing from Shizuku's body begins to intensify. It's as if she's responding to his hatred.
Why are you trying to stop me and Shizuku? They were the ones who killed her. They deserve what's coming to them.
Mr. Rindo bites down on his lip as though he's enduring a sharp pain from every word he hears. I can't begin to fathom what kind of visceral emotions they must be experiencing. But... Mikado! But I know them. He loves Shizuku. His voice was filled with kindness each time he spoke about her. Even if Shizuku can return back to her human form, how many more innocent lives do you need to make that happen? Her shadow continues to spread. It's enough proof that the people inside the GPM weren't enough to satisfy her. Even if she came back to you as a human, Shizuku wouldn't like what...
Say no more. I know what you're implying. I understand that her kindness will convince her that the means of her revival were not justified. Even so, I want her back. Just call it blind love.
The reddish-black shadow overflows the rooftop as it slowly increases.
I'll carry these sins with her. If Shizuku's going to suffer and regret what happened, I'll support her to the end.
Mikado, are you serious?
Spacey, you understand what I'm saying, right? You wanted Rindo to live even if it meant that would forever weigh on your conscience.
Yeah, but there's a difference. He might be mad at me, but I didn't kill a fuck ton of people. I just made one man mad at me. One.
Please, please help us. Help us. Help yourself and Rindo. We can all return to happiness as normal humans together.
His words are sweet and highly intoxicating. My response is... the end. We're done here. No, but this is where we save because we gonna get a bad ending. Yes. I feel like we should just leave it here and be like, cock block, you don't know what I get to pick. I'm not gonna tell you because it's not gonna end. This part's gonna go on forever. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna cock block you. I'm gonna leave you in this choice. My response is dun dun dun. What are we going to do? Because this, I have a feeling we're gonna make our choice, and the monologue is. I mean, okay, fine, forget it. All right, we'll try another minute or so. We're not supposed to help him. Returning Mr. Rindo back into a human, we could go back to being happy together like it used to be. I want him to be able to stand in daylight without fear. I want to walk around the theme park lovingly holding his hand. I want to enjoy a wonderful meal at a gourmet bistro and stare into his eyes. Everything can be brought back. The offer is too sweet to refuse. But I was going to say, I did say I won't, right? Sorry, but I'm going to have to pass on that offer, Mikado. What he said, she was like, I'm taking my time thinking because I want to see what he says. If he's like, actually, okay. Like, it was Mr. Rindo who turns his head away from the sweet allure. Mr. Rindo is smiling. The smile on his face is no different from before, even in his non-human form. Also, hi. Capital R looks like Rindo. Looks like an L, not an I. Oh, I thought it was Mikado. I'd love to turn back into a human again if it's possible, but ultimately, I can't accept your offer.
May I ask why?
Shizuku isn't going to be happy if she turns back once she learns the number of deaths her revival cost. Mind you, it's not absolute that humans and non-humans can't get along and obtain happiness.
I can say the exact opposite of what you said. In fact, your concept is much less likely to happen. What you're saying isn't new.
Sure, it's not new and it's what normal people say, but I'm not going to subject myself of fearing the unknown. All I ask is that you don't try to put distance between us over something we don't know. Mind you, I am the owner of Enchante, you know. My normal isn't normal anymore. Don't underestimate what we call normal. Mr. Rindo!
How foolish!
He must know that we won't bite. Mikado raises his arm, to which Shizuku extends her shadow into a claw. He's gotta fight his own sister. Mr. Rindo uses his own claws to deflect the incoming shadow. There's like no good place to stop, but we need to stop. I'm gonna stop here. Like, I know there's no good place to stop, but like, we can't keep going. We're over time, and I should have stopped at that choice. And like, but Mr. Rindo and Shizuku, gasp! What's gonna happen? They're gonna battle, and hope he's gonna win. But we don't know. Is that gonna magically turn? If he kills her, does he turn back into a human? We don't know. Probably not. But you never know. That could be like the super happy ending, but maybe we'll finish in the next part. I don't know. We'll see. But at any rate, I'm going to wrap this part up here, and we'll continue next time. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.